Welcome to Active Stretching. I'm Barry Bailey, and I'm going to teach you today how to do the Da Vinci stretch. The Da Vinci stretch, in my opinion, is the most important stretch you can do, and I'll tell you why it's important and how to do it. If you're already doing active stretching, this hopefully will give you a lot more information about how to do the stretch even better. And those of you who are new to active stretching, I'll take you step by step through the stretch and show you how to do it and how to get the best results. I call this the Da Vinci stretch because it reminds me of the well-known drawing by Leonardo da Vinci of the Vitruvian Man. And those are similar to the actions that we will do to do this stretch. So first, let's talk about the muscles that we're actually going to stretch. We're going to stretch the pectoralis major muscles. The pectoralis major muscle attaches to your upper arm on the inside and comes across your chest with muscle fibers in a number of different directions. If you lift your arm and grab onto here, that's the pectoralis major muscle. It forms the front edge of your armpit. Let me show you on my buddy here, Slim. Right here is the attachment point for the pectoralis major muscle. It attaches there and the muscle fibers come up to here to the clavicle or collarbone. It comes across here to the sternum or breastbone, and it comes down to here and attaches here along the lower ribs. So as you can see, it fans out like the spokes of a wheel. It pulls your arm across your body in a number of different directions depending on where its attachment is up through here. So an attachment down here is going to take your arm like that. An attachment up here is going to take your arm straight across. An attachment up here is going to take your arm up. And so we have this broad range of positioning of muscle fibers of the pectoralis major muscle. So because of that, we have to do a stretch that mimics the opposite of all of those different positions. So I call this the most important stretch that you can do. If you don't do any other stretch, this is the one to do. It's going to give you the most benefit. And the reason for that is it is the most important stretch to do to affect better posture. We all have poor posture. Doesn't matter who we are. We still have poor posture. We spend all day with our arms forward, whether it's working all day at the computer, whether it's driving, mowing the lawn, doing laundry. Basically, everything that we do with our arms forward. We're very seldom in a neutral position, which is the anatomical position, arms at side. Very seldom are we in that position. So when we bring our arms forward, what happens is these muscles that attach here and on all these different places, this muscle becomes shorter. And the muscles in the back, which are the muscles that hold our shoulders back, naturally get overstretched. And when that happens, they lose their strength. A muscle that's overstretched and constantly in that overstretched position loses its strength. So what happens then is these muscles, because we're so often with our arms forward, they literally shorten in length so that it pulls our shoulders forward. And then we go to the gym and we do exercises that make them even more strong and more short. And the problem is that these muscles generally are much more strong than the muscles in the back. So we accelerate that problem by going to the gym, working on our pecs because we want to have nice, good chest muscles. But what that's doing is it's fighting the back. And unless you're strengthening those as well, you have an imbalance. So what this stretch is doing is helping you to rebalance the front and the back muscles that hold your shoulders back naturally. How many of you, sometime during your life, had someone say to you, your posture is terrible, pull your shoulders back? And of course, that's what you did. You pulled your shoulders back. But what happened? As soon as you stopped thinking about that, your shoulders came right back forward again to where they were. What the Da Vinci stretch does is strengthen the muscles in the back and lengthen the muscles in the front, your shoulders will stay back where they're supposed to without you having to think about it. They will do that naturally, and that will help your posture tremendously. When your shoulders are forward, not only has it weakened the muscles in the back and shortened the muscles in the front, it has collapsed your chest. It has depressed your lungs, meaning there's going to be less air coming into your lungs, and you start becoming a hunchback, which is what very often happens with old age. If we start with a good erect posture, and then our chin juts forward, and then our shoulders come forward, and then we start pulling down with the muscles in the front, and we end up with shoulders like this. This is something that can be prevented. It is also something that can be improved and reversed. If your muscles are too tight here, simply by stretching them and strengthening the ones in back, those shoulders are going to go back where they're supposed to, as opposed to becoming that hunchback. Okay, how do we do the Da Vinci stretch? First thing that we do is we stand in a neutral position, feet shoulder width apart, knees are soft. In other words, don't lock your knees like this, because this is what it's going to do. You're going to keep them soft. Tailbone tucked under, belly flat, arms are in front. Normal anatomical position would be this. We're going to start this by just doing a slight contraction on the muscle fibers that are coming down to here and attaching to my rib. I'm going to place my hands in front of my pelvis with my palms facing me. From here, I'm going to do an exhale and take my arms back. I'm going to open up my hands, leading with my thumbs. So I'm going to exhale, take my arms back, and I'm going to stay down here as low as I can, close to my body. I'm going to stay here for only 1.5 seconds. After 1.5 seconds, I'm going to inhale and come back to this neutral position, and I'm going to repeat that stretch, except this time I'm going to come up a few degrees. Now, I'm not quite as tight to my body. And I'm going to repeat that again. So it's going to be exhale, out, inhale, back to neutral. And I'm coming up a little bit higher with each repetition. I'm taking my thumbs back. I'm not doing a back bend. I'm staying perfectly straight, eyes straight ahead. I'm about to reach the top, and then when I get to the top, palms together, thumbs back, I'm going to repeat that same stretch and come back down again a few degrees at a time. I want to aim for about 10 repetitions going up and about 10 repetitions coming down. I'm approaching the bottom now, and all the way to the bottom. And I like to shake out my arms at the end. And that's the Da Vinci stretch. So a way to improve or get a better Da Vinci stretch is, as you do that motion, taking your arms back, leading with your thumbs, think in terms of pinching your shoulder blades together. That's going to give you even more of a stretch. The other thing is you want to do it in a very controlled way. This is not a ballistic stretch. You're not flinging your arms back and only staying there for a second. What you're doing if you're doing a ballistic stretch is, first of all, it's not controlled. It's not really stretching the muscle. You're basically tearing muscle fibers, and you don't want to do that. That's not what active stretching is all about. And you're not holding it because it's a ballistic stretch and you're going right out of that ballistic stretch. You want to go into the stretch and hold it, and you want to hold it long enough so that the muscle actually realizes and understands that you're doing a stretch. You're not just doing an aerobic exercise of moving your arms. You're doing a stretch. So a hold of the stretch has to happen. And as I said, it's 1.5 to 2 seconds. You have to decide what is best for you, for your body type. For me, it's a fairly short 1.5 seconds because I've got not muscle mass, and I've got very wiry muscles. The other thing is, some of you may have studied ballet. Don't turn it into a ballet stretch. I see people doing this. This is a ballet position. It is totally different from what we're doing as an active stretch. An active stretch, a Da Vinci stretch, by comparison to a ballet motion like that, is very awkward. We're not trying to be beautiful. We're trying to target those muscles, and we're trying to give them a really, really good stretch. And this Da Vinci stretch will do just that. So the stretch that I showed you was leading with your thumbs. Another variation of that is to, instead of leading with your thumbs as you come out of that neutral position, is that you curl your wrists and fingers back. And so what that will do is stretch your fingertips, the palm of your hand, and your lower arm, and all the way up your arm, and then all the way across to your breastbone. So it looks, instead of like this, it looks like this. So that's the Da Vinci stretch. As I said, it's the most important stretch you can do. If you don't do any other stretch, this is the one to learn first. It's a simple stretch. You can do it anytime and anywhere. And it's especially good to do if you're doing some action like sitting at the computer or driving or raking leaves. Take a break, do one series of repetitions going up and another series of 10 repetitions coming down, and then go back to your work, and you will be amazed at how wonderful you feel after having done that Da Vinci stretch. One of the things that I've encouraged some of my students who are teachers to do is, if they have students and they're about to take an exam, have them get up and do the Da Vinci stretch, because what that's going to do is, first of all, it's going to energize them, it's going to get oxygen into their lungs, it's going to get oxygen and nutrients to their brain, they're going to think more clearly, and also they're going to be more creative. Plus, one of the great things that active stretching does is it's very energizing, but it's also very relaxing. And that's really important. So active stretching is the stretching to do, and the Da Vinci stretch is the one to do. And do look for my other videos. I have other videos here on YouTube, and I'm making more, and they will be coming out on a fairly regular basis, hopefully. So I'm Barry Bailey signing off. See you on the next active stretching video. Thank you for watching.